very briefly, end of the second turn. Imagawa settled down for his evening of entertainment, sake and some plays. Oda is still not on the board. He doesn't come on until the fourth turn, but Imagawa doesn't know that. But what did happen is the thunderstorm. Nothing moved over on the sieges. The thunderstorm started, which means that no longer can the forts be burned down. And while the thunderstorm is going, the roads are, well, the clear terrain is much more difficult to move on. And zones of control are negated, and archers and Teppo, well, the Teppo have no ability to fire. You can't light those little matchlocks during a rainstorm. But the Yumi, the bowmen, also are in reduced values for firing. So not a lot is going to happen while that's going on. Each turn we're going to make a roll to see if that continues. After 4 turns, we have only one kind of interesting thing. Oda comes on the map. He was coming up to take the Inagawa units by surprise. However, they got their activation roll, which they actually have to make on that first turn, after second turn after settling down, and they managed to actually get momentum for three actions, which means all of their units are now, I think, recovered completely, and some of them have deployed against Oda. So Oda's considering moving to where he can grab additional clans, because he does not have a Hanshin. Oda's moving westward to engage the besieging forces. And who's this? Mura Bingo. It has he was the one activation for the other side. He's beginning to move his forces up to provide some kind of screen, because otherwise Oda will be able to fall on those units. Oda's continuing his approach, and we're seeing Kuzumaya trying to cross the river. With all those swamps there, you take a lot of cohesion hits trying to move through it. So it's a big unit. I want to get it into the battle, but it's a slow process to do so. It may be better to try to bring some of the units that are able to actually fight into the engagement. I think what I'm going to try to do is directly engage Oda with one of these clans, or more than one. See what happens. Alright, so end of turn 7, beginning of turn 8, the Oda made his attack, and that knocked one of the clans off the map. The attack, I finally got to see what the combat system is like. There's a lot of steps, a lot of little actions. Every single engagement requires, 6 or 7 checks, chart rolls, etc. So there is a lot of mechanical action to an attack. You have to make a check to see if units that are attacking are proper quality. Got to see Oda took on the clan leader here and killed him in hand-to-hand combat, which gives a tremendous bonus, because having a leader in a battle is a good thing, and the other guy doesn't. And then it also made it so that the other clan, although it was already finished, so it couldn't have rallied anyway, couldn't rally, and so all their routed units meant they automatically got removed from the map. It's an interesting system. I see why there's a higher complexity to something than Men of Iron. At first I thought this game is going to feel a lot like Men of Iron. Well, except with a little bit more structure to the command, the number of times you can move a unit or a command in a particular turn. So there's an actual turn order in this. That's one thing, and I kind of like that. That was, I think, missing in Men of Iron. Even though it still maintains, with the order rules, a flow because of the limitation on how many units you can actually order to act. It does maintain a flow where you have certain areas of the battlefield where important stuff is happening. What's kind of cool is where battles are happening, keep going. What's kind of silly is these guys waiting in the river, kind of playing, washing themselves and whatever. They're inactive right now, and things got too exciting for them to move, so now they're in the river, and who knows what they're up to there. That's a little goofy. I think that's just this scenario with the river situation, and maybe it wasn't wise to move them in the first place. But then the combat itself, it's not just I'm attacking this unit with, these units. There are a number of steps to attack. Like I said, you have to roll the qualities on the units, which might cause them to break before they even fight, or it might cause some cohesion hits. Then you check the Clash of Arms for what column you're going to be on, and there's modifiers. So Clash of Arms is basically by the type of units that are facing each other, whereas Strength gives you column shifts. A leader gives you pluses to the table, which is humongous. And the combat chart is actually very, very mild across the board. I mean, it's very slow moving, which is to say you get the same kind of results without a lot of shifts. Doesn't make a lot of difference, but it definitely makes a difference. But positional advantage, if you can get the rear of someone or the flank, the defender ends up doubling their losses, and their losses are the parenthesized values. Those are all in cohesion hits, which means it doesn't really matter how big your unit is. If it's good, it can take a lot of punishment, even if it's very small. Whereas anything with low cohesion, with low tactical quality, is going to break. It's a nice system. I think it works well. I think it accurately represents things. It is a lot of effort, though. Just handling this one little combat with maybe 6 units on the side. It took a good half hour, maybe more. Of course, this is my first time. But the mechanical aspects of it, they're going to take time no matter what, especially when you get to individual combat and stuff like that. All right.